everyone, and welcome to Magus of the League. Welcome to Magus of the League, our sealed league and sealed format Magic podcast. Sealed League being a 60-card format where you rip 6 packs at a punishment pack every time you take a loss. This is our first official sponsored podcast, thanks to Pat Lorrain, who just opened a microbrewery in Saint-Agathe near Mont-Tremblant called La Veillée, and offered us these free beers.
We're so excited that we've missed the self-introduction part.
Yeah.
But look at these beautiful beers. We're going to be sampling these on air to start us off. That will inform our discussion, just
crack the sound. So, I didn't miss the introduction, Chris. I was holding it off for the second part. So, as you know, I'm Lee Bond, and this is my co-host, Chris York.
Hello.
Once again, we have a very special guest.
Super special.
Very special guest.
Thanks for that.
Simon, from the one and only Rules Committee.
Yes.
This is the president of the Rules Committee,
the newest
Chairman makes all
member.
the decisions. So,
let's give
Simon, why don't you give us a bit of an introduction about yourself while we're pouring out some beers?
Give us your magic resume to start with.
My magic resume. I started playing 9 years ago. I played a little bit before in high school for fun with friends. We didn't know really the rule back then. So that was quite, but that was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And since 9 years, I've been playing a lot. And League is a thing I enjoy a lot. I like it very much because it's very social. I like the social aspect of it.
And you're relatively new to League, right?
It's my 4th league right now.
So you joined during which set?
I joined for the Chaos League.
The Chaos.
See who's the most generous with his alcohol.
Sorry.
Just like a little habit cascading down.
I didn't notice that you'd foamed yours up.
Cheers.
Cheers,
so
gentlemen.
welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for the invite.
Welcome.
Alright, thanks a lot. Cheers,
Cheers.
everyone.
Kampai.
Kampai. Alright, so let's jump right in it because we have a lot to cover this week.
We do.
Tons and tons of stuff. Week 5.
That's where we're at.
War of the Spark League.
That's where we're at, folks.
That's where we're at.
We're past the halfway point. We're almost home.
Almost home.
To the Mega Draft.
We're about, I'd say, 2-3 weeks out to the final rounds. I'm starting to feel that tension.
Starting to feel the squeeze?
Simon, what's your record right now?
Right now I'm a 9-6.
9-6.
The best of the 9-6s.
The best of the
which puts him in 6th place.
Yeah.
I'm the worst of the 9-6s, which puts me in 8th.
Yeah.
What a fall from grace.
And I started the week at 7-7, putting myself at the 14th or something place. Far from the top. Far from the top.
We don't worry about that.
Hey, for my predictions to come true, I still have to make top 8. So, note that we both put Simon in the top 8 for this.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. I'm very flattered.
Did it help you? Did it help your confidence?
I was touched. I was touched. I was watching the podcast. I watched it, and I was mentioned, and I felt very touched.
Yeah? Where did you feel touched?
That's private.
That's private.
What I do in front of my computer is my own business, okay? It's my own business.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
We don't want to dig too deep. I mean, we're not a news show, right? We're an entertainment show.
Yeah, we're entertainment.
We're not reporting facts.
All right.
Thanks for that.
No problem. So, week 5, not much to talk about. We're in the middle of it. Big grind. So far, everybody seems to be... I think one of the comments that I have just for the week is, I've noticed you had predicted in the early, the gods versus the no-god decks.
Yeah, that's falling apart.
I took a savage beating from a person who has 3 gods in their deck.
Really?
And
now you feel it.
I feel it. I feel that no gods versus gods. Ugh.
Why have you forsaken me?
Yeah. Why have you forsaken me, gods?
Yeah.
So, that's going to be my only con on the thing. What?
3 gods.
Yeah, 3 gods. It's pretty spectacular.
In the same game?
Of the same.
In the same game, or?
1 game, 2 of the same on rotation, and then another game, the other god. So, and it's just the repeatable value on them is so sickening. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've noticed that actually it's less pronounced than I originally thought it would be. So either I've come across fewer gods than I expected, or if I have come across them, I've been able to bounce them or kill them for long enough to close the game.
Yeah.
Happily. So, I've got 1 god, and it's not the best god, it's the Ronas.
It's the worst god?
It's the worst god, but it is a god.
Worst, yeah.
What, you don't think it's the worst god?
I don't know.
What's the worst god?
I have very limited experience with gods.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
Fair
I
enough.
have Liliana, and she's good.
Well,
the god planeswalker.
as it turns out.
Yeah, she feels godly.
So
I'd rather have that than
hot takes. He has a Liliana.
Yeah.
So
you heard it here first.
Secrets.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
so are you running any gods currently?
No gods in my deck. No. I'm
9/6 no
atheist
gods.
deck. I have an atheist deck.
Non-believer.
Yeah, exactly.
Non-believer.
No gods for me.
All right. Well, moving on.
Yes.
The reason we brought you on the podcast this week.
There's actually a reason?
Yeah, it's a special announcement week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Do you want to do the announcement or should we sheep?
I think you should do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have confirmation. There will be a Modern Horizons League in 2 weeks
Breaking
after
news.
this podcast.
We are
Squad week. Not only that, so far it's what we have as confirmation news is it's going to be a full league.
Yep.
So 8 to 9 weeks.
Yep.
Full elimination sequence.
Yep.
And to add some spice to the format, because Modern Horizons is a specifically modern format.
That's correct.
We will only be allowed to open packs that are modern legal, which is, if I'm not correct, Mirrodin forward is the modern legal format. So anything that has come out in Mirrodin that's not a supplementary product, so no bottle bond.
I think it's 8th edition forward.
8th edition forward?
Yeah, whenever they did
there was a core set before.
Exactly.
Right before.
They did the card frame change.
Yeah, so
and it's from that forward.
Fair. So it's at the card frame change, basically. Yeah. But as a good reference, just the core set right before Mirrodin, just remember Mirrodin in your head. Anything like that. So we're talking Cold Snap with the new snow-covered permanents. If you have Cold Snap packs sitting at home, if you're a millionaire and you want to buy them off eBay,
it's pretty terrible. A lot of the base commons you're going to open are going to rely on the ripple mechanic, which means you're going to be like, I got to open all Cold Snap for the rest of the set.
Yeah.
So unless you have like a box of Cold Snap and you really want to dig deep on ripple, I don't know if that's going to pay off.
Are they expensive, these pack?
Apparently so.
Yeah, I think they're pretty expensive. Like they're pre-Time Spiral and they were a pretty favorite draft format. I think there's some high value in there.
It was a horrible draft format. It was a big stinker. That set was a big stinker. A lot of people quit.
Because it was that bad.
Well, yeah.
Because right after it was Time Spiral, right? Which is remembered as one of the favorites too, right?
Yeah, but it was also the reason people quit too, because the complexity. This ties in Modern Horizons because it's called Time Spiral 2.
The Commander Horizons.
The complexity level's very high.
Yeah.
And so we're going to today decode for our listeners what we think are our top 10 picks for the set. We want to talk more about the format.
Well, let's talk about a bit about the set. So the full spoilers have been released at this point. We're always late on that. That we don't get any of the hot takes, face to face.
Ice cold takes.
Ice cold takes. Everything's already out there.
Yep.
But we're talking about pretty much every keyword in existence. Cascade, retrace, kicker.
Yep.
I can't even. Delve is in there. Convoke is in there. Just everything. Something for everyone.
It's keyword soup.
Yeah, it's keyword soup.
Yeah.
Which adds to the complexity.
It's going to reward people who have been playing for multiple years over multiple blocks and have at least a passing familiarity with how each of these mechanics works, alone and in combination.
Yeah.
So I think that this is not going to be a beginner-friendly league. Except in the fact that maybe you can open some bombs.
Yeah. And you're going to learn. If you're a beginner, you're going to learn a lot playing him.
Yeah, you're going to learn hard. You're going to learn hard. So,
Probably, yeah.
Get that tattooed on your body somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to learn hard.
There you go.
So before we jump into our top 10 picks.
Of common, right?
Of common.
Did we specify that?
Yeah, so we're going to do commons.
Yeah, we did that for two reasons. One is that it's going to be the card. This is going to be the cards that most people are going to encounter, that they're going to run in their deck.
League, especially in the first weeks, is basically all your commons, right? You're going to have more of those cards than anything else. It'll affect the quality of your deck, your colors, all that type of stuff. The bombs will pull you in the directions you're going, but how good you are and what you're going to do is going to be largely based on your commons and a little bit on your uncommons. But we decided to limit ourselves to the commons this time.
And secondly, because we have Simone here with us, he's the organizer for a kind of the Pauper community at face-to-face games.
Yeah, well, I promote. I like promoting. I have a group on Facebook, which is called MTG Pauper Montreal. So if anyone wants to join the group, it's an open group.
Yep. Dave plugged the Facebook group, MTG Pauper Montreal. So
maybe if we have a very high qualified producer on that show.
It's
so
true.
I think it's going to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really like Pauper. It's my favorite constructed format. And I encourage anyone that is interested to have a look at that format. For me, it's very fun. It's affordable. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and right now is a crazy time to get into Pauper too, because there was just some major bannings.
Yeah, it was an important ban.
That's changing up the format.
Yep.
And Modern Horizons has a lot of crazy common reprints.
Also, yes, it's a very exciting time to play Pauper. So have a look at this. If you have any question, talk to me on Facebook. I like this format so much. I'm always willing to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's exciting. And
But today we're going to talk about League, your favorite limited format.
Favorite limited format,
right?
League.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
It's
Hesitation.
Well, no, I like it the most because it's actually Magic the Gathering. It's not just Magic.
Yeah.
It's really Magic
the community. It's social.
Yeah,
it's social.
that's what I like about
The
it.
social aspect.
Yeah, it's really Magic.
It's one of our best selling points. Yeah. All right, let's jump right in. So
we'll start with 10. We'll start with the bottom.
Should we give him the first of every round just to
That seems fair
as our guest?
Yeah.
So number 10.
Yes.
Number 10. Okay, my number 10 is Phantasmal. What's the name of the full name of the card? You see that I'm very well prepared.
Phantasmal, whatever the.
It's actually a
he's
3 mana.
He's going to pull up the visual spoiler here.
Yeah,
give him a second
it's
here.
a 3 mana instant speed that make 2 of your creature 3/3 flying, and you draw a card for 3 mana at instant speed. It's a combat trick.
Phantasmal form.
Phantasmal form. That's
Until end of turn, each creature have power toughness 3 and 3, gain flying, become blue illusion, and draw a card. Wow, that's a really solid pick.
Yeah, I like this because it's basically a very tricky cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also you draw a card for 3. So
it's good on offense. It's good on defense, right?
Yeah, you can target the cards, the creature of your opponent also. So
to kill a flyer.
Target creature.
Each, yeah.
Well, it's gonna gang flyer, so
But it's very flexible. Let's just give it that. It's flexible because it's it's an instant speed spell. It's not limited to targeting your creatures. If God forbid someone opens a bunch of War of the Spark, you can hit gods, make them lose their abilities.
It reminds me of one of those crappy tricks I pulled when I first started playing Magic. Like, you'd play like a plummet, and you give your opponent's creature flying with jump. Say if like a big problematic creature, you make it flying and then you shoot it down. Yeah. I had decks that were centered around this very janky interaction.
Yeah. I think it's gonna create.
Also, I believe Spider Tribal is a thing in this set. Like, there's so many tribes in this set. It's like it's tribal. So you can run that into a tribal thing and just block with your spiders.
Well, this tribal thing brings me into my number 10. One of the
Your number 10.
One of the most prominent tribes in Modern, I'm sure, are fairies.
Yeah.
And so my number 10 is the fairy Seer.
Yeah.
Which is a blue creature fairy for 1 blue mana. Mm-hmm. And when she comes into play, she scries 2 for you.
Yeah.
So what it does, I think, is a couple of things in our format of League, which is to say it provides early pressure and it gives you the chance to fix your draw. So let's say you have a weak starting 7, but you don't want a mulligan. Mm-hmm. This gives you the chance to scry for a land or to scry for another early drop and save your extra card.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's like a get out of jail free card, and it has all sorts of tribal synergies with fairies outside of the format. But inside the format, all it's going to do, it's going to attack enemy planeswalkers early on if people are adding War of the Spark, which they probably will since they have packs lying around. And it's going to fix your draw with the scry.
Yeah. And enable some ninja stuff also.
Hello, ninjas. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
so that brings up its value considerably, since blue and black both have a lot of really...
Well, there's like
great
5
ninjas.
or 6 ninjas in the set.
Yeah, but they're all...
Yeah, that fairy is
They're not
really...
all crazy good. Some are generic.
Yeah, they're mostly good, and I think that fairy is gonna be the best friend of these ninjas.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
for sure.
Because when you replay it for 1 mana,
you
get to scry again.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my number 10,
yes, Lee.
Not related to fairies, is Springbloom Druid.
Yes.
2 colorless, 1 green. Sack a land. Search for 2 lands. I think this card is great because it's ramp. It's fixing. Mm-hmm. It's one of those cards that I think is going to even become maybe a commander staple just for interactions with like Life of the Loam or
Jumbo Commander did like a half an hour program,
right? It's an arrow on a guy, right?
Yeah, it's Harrow on a guy.
Yeah,
basically, and it's great. And the thing is too is a lot of the cards in this set in green are enabled by having lands in your graveyard.
Yeah.
So there's a Murasa Behemoth, which is a 5/5 for 6, but it becomes an 8/8 trample if you have a land in your graveyard. There's
tons of stuff.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So the red-green planeswalker that lets you return. So basically, with this card, you can protect it. use the -1, get the land back. All of a sudden you're ramped up to 4, fixed perfectly. I think that this card, especially in this format, almost has like a chaosy feel to it, you know, because it's so varied. I think fixing and playing multiple colors is going to be a huge thing.
Yeah, it's basically a chaos draft in one set.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're number 9?
Number 9.
Okay, man. Number 9 is Defile, the 1 mana black removal.
Yeah.
All right.
-1/-1 for every swamp.
That's
Exactly.
a nice one.
Who doesn't like a 1 mana removal?
And in that color, I think you know, it's going to be at least a -1/-1, if not a -5, -5, -4, -4.
Well, you know what? It's like a 1 mana massacre for 1 creature.
Yeah.
Right? Remember Massacre was like
I don't know Massacre.
I know Massacre Girl.
Well, no, Massacre was like a spell that you played. Basically, it gives every creature -X, where X is the number of swamps you control.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
It's Mutilate, no? What's the name of the card?
Massacre.
Massacre. Okay.
So this is rat that does that in the set, no?
So this is that's Crypt Rat. It does X damage to every player and every creature. This is different.
Yeah.
This relies on the number of swamps, not black mana.
Yeah.
But or maybe it was Mutilate. Was it Mutilate?
Yeah, I think it's Mutilate. The art is crazy. It's
yeah,
like it's a woman
face.
melting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an acid trippy kind of.
Yeah.
Rely on the popper expert, you know, to name the
It's a rare. It's a good card.
But anyway, so this is like a targeted Mutilate, and I agree with you. I think it's a it's a very solid common.
Yeah.
You're gonna see it a lot, so get used to seeing it killing your creatures, and get used to killing other people's creatures with it.
Yeah, 1 mana removal that is very good in early game, and that could be also good in the late game.
It scales.
Yeah.
It scales for no
Exactly,
extra
so,
cost. So you want to kill a creature early for 1 mana? Go ahead. You want to wait and get a more powerful creature for the same price?
Yeah, so solid.
Sure.
Yeah. I like it.
Number 9.
Lee.
Me?
Well, with me. Okay, it's me. Fine. Since you were talking about ninjas, we were talking about ninjas for a whole thing. My number 9 is a ninja. It's a ninja. I'm gonna trick it into play with Fairy Seer. It's the Moonblade Shinobi.
Yeah, makes a 1/1.
Yeah, it makes a 1/1 when it hits. But let's go through let's go through the whole text here. He's gonna talk us through.
Here we go.
Yep.
Moonblade Shinobi. 3, 1 blue. Human ninja, 2 colors, 1 blue ninjutsu. So ninjutsu is if a creature is attacking and unblocked, you can pay that cost to replace it by this creature. It's also an ability, so it can't be countered with a cast, but it can be countered with a stifle. And whenever a Moonblade Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 blue illusion token with flying.
Right. So here's why I like this card. Comes in on turn 3 after you play your Fairy Seer.
Sure.
For 3 mana, and you just smoke them for 3 damage, and then on. Normally the problem with ninjas is that you leave your back door wide open, right? So you have like all your ninjas coming in. You want to attack with as many creatures as possible, so you have one that's unblocked. And then you put your ninja in, you've lost a creature on the board, and you have no defenders. This provides a defender.
Yeah.
And not only that, if they don't counterattack, you have another ninja enabler hitting them next turn.
Yeah.
So it's win-win, essentially, with this card.
Yeah.
And there's lots of great board states that this is going to enable, I can tell.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so there's no debate. Everyone just acknowledges that I'm correct, and we can move on to your number 9.
So my number 9 is Fairy Seer. I thought it was better than a 10th place position.
Wow.
1 blue scry 2, you know, is just generally like such a good card.
Yeah.
And then sticking it on a 1/1 body is just extra value.
By the way, because that was a great poker face. When I mentioned the Fairy Seer, you were like,
yeah,
I guess it's all right.
Yeah, I guess it's all right.
It's not on my list though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay, no.
It's great. I think as you know, yes, it's a ninja enabler, but I think just beyond that, there's a little bit of Flying Men tribal that I've seen with some cards, and I think that just 1 mana for a 1/1 scry 2, that turn 1 play that just gives you your next turn, so good. So I think in terms of information, I will play that pretty much in every deck I have.
Yeah.
At least for the beginning of the league, for sure.
And maybe to the very end.
Maybe to the
so
very
much
end.
value for
just
1 mana.
one, having 1 in your deck, even in the late game, scrying 2 can get you there, get rid of
Find
those 2
your bomb.
shitty lands, It's a really, really great card for me. So,
Simon.
Number 8.
There you go.
Number 8 is Magmatic Sinkhole.
Yeah.
So that's a removal.
You really don't value removal highly.
I don't know. Is it an instant or sorcery?
It's an instant.
It's an instant. Okay, so that's
therefore on
5 colorless, 1 red.
Yeah.
Deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker with Delve. So
that's it exactly.
The Delve mechanic being you can remove cards from your graveyard in order to pay for the mana cost. So the colorless part.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And why do you think this is deserving of our attention?
I think
pretty obvious.
I think it's just a good removal, fair, not overly good.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that it's using Delve and like Delve seems like good at the end of the game. So at the beginning, it could sit in your hand.
It's no Defile. I can see why you put it. I don't see why Defile is below it
in the order. Yeah, I can see why you put it below.
Yeah, no wait. The opposite, I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll go to my number 8.
Number 8.
My number 8 is Reprobation. Now you might wonder.
Color?
It's white.
The
word reprobate in the English language is someone who essentially doesn't know the law, who acts in a way that is antisocial. So reprobation, I guess, is someone sort of being shamed for their bad behavior. And we represent this through an aura. One white, one colorless. It's an enchanted creature, and the creature loses all abilities. It becomes a coward. Coward tribal confirmed.
Yes.
Has base power and toughness 0-1. What this does is it gets rid of all the problematic issues that you might have with a creature. So if your creature that you want to get rid of has some nasty leaves the battlefield trigger, or has some reanimation clause, which we see a bit of persist happening in the set.
Yeah.
This clears all of that out, leaves them with a coward, which is funny because the set interacts with that a little bit. And so I think it's a nice clean rule for 2. It's a better pacifism, essentially.
It is. It's slightly better pacifism.
Because pacifism lets static abilities stay on the board. Mm-hmm. It lets activated abilities be activated. This clears all that away.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I actually didn't see it.
Yeah.
I think it would have done my top 8, but my top 10, but
you missed it.
I missed it. It's a very good card. I thought it was like an instant for only a turn, so I didn't see the enchantment part.
Learning everything, even on the podcast. You know?
Well,
even we learned.
Even we learned from us.
Even we learned from us. You know.
Well, I learned. I don't know about you guys.
Every time I talk, I say new things. I'm like, wow, what a smart thing I just said.
So my number 7.
Are you number 7 or are you number 8?
Oh, my number 8.
It's 8 now, right?
No, because I did Fairy Seer at number 8. I think we're at 10, 9, 8. Oh, no, right, number 8. 10, 9, 8. I don't know how to do math. I was like 3 up from the bottom.
We are a professional podcast. We are prepared for any eventuality.
We are sponsored thanks to La Veillée in Saint-Agathe, right next to.
I would say that in my way. La Veillée.
La Veillée.
It's very good beer.
Very good beer. Yeah. So far, any comments on the beer?
No,
since we're losing track of numbers already.
We're drinking the Pat.
Yeah.
Which is the beer named for the brewer.
That's correct.
Who owns the microbrewery. So.
Yes, and
so thank you, Pat.
Yes, thank you, Pat. He's got a very similar look to myself with the glasses and the beard. Handsome fellow.
Yeah.
And a smooth beer, I must say.
So my number 8, Answered Prayers. 1 colorless, 2 white for an enchantment. Whenever you play a creature, you gain a life, and if Answered Prayers is not a creature, it becomes a 3/3 flying angel.
Yeah, this card.
Now this card I think is a secret bomb. I think it's a beating and a half. I remember the days when like there was the Chimera effects and there was crazy Chimera decks.
Yes.
This card is enchantment removal is way more singular versus just generic removal.
Yep.
It's way harder to hit it. You know, the life game on it is just an extra bonus effect that we see on those kind of enchantments and creatures.
Yep.
So, but essentially what it is just a 3/3 flyer, similar to Riddle Sphinx that we had in Amonkhet, which was a beating and a half as well.
Yes, it was. And you had to pay mana to activate that, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Cycling.
It was whenever you cycle the card
cycling
or something.
trigger. Yeah.
Like this one, it just activates when you play a creature, which is what you already want. It's a low-cost creature, and in terms of value, it's a 3/3 flyer for 3. Like, that is way undervalued. Usually it's like 4 or 5 mana for that kind of card. I think this is going to be one of our sleeping beaters. If you get 2 or 3 of these.
Beaters?
Yeah, get
We're
2
making
or
that a
3
thing.
Sleeping beaters.
Sleeping beaters.
So I think just 2 or 3 of these with a good, like I had mentioned, I think Flying Men is going to be something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of low cast flyers, and I think that this is going to be that on curve tempo, just bam, bam, bam. I love it. So that's my number 8.
Very good in aggressive deck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Blue white flyers, red white aggressive flyers.
Even in a controlling deck.
Yeah, and it's
controlling deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because so let's say for example you are just making big creatures late game. Even then, like all you care about is anything after turn 3.
Yeah.
So turn 3, you make this guy, and then you have a 4-drop, 5-drop, 6-drop. He still activates. He's still doing his job in a controlling late game kind of deck.
Yeah. So for like a win condition in a control deck.
Yeah.
The other thing too is phasing in and out has been a theme. One of the many themes of this set.
Phasing in and out.
Well, like astral shift.
Okay, that's different than phasing though.
No, not phasing, but like blinking. Blinking in and out.
There we go.
So as a controlling situation is like you can play a low cost creature like the fairy, attack with him, pass the turn. This is an enchantment, so it's just like next turn, just blink another creature, and you got him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy nonsense.
Good call. I like this one.
I like it a lot.
Spoiler alert: you may have put it a bit too low on your rankings. Let's go to number 7.
Number 7,
Simon.
Okay, my number 7 is Reign of Revelation.
I like this art. It's just a. I mean, if you haven't noticed, it's just a lady in a tie-dye T-shirt. Just tripping out, essentially. It's like a 1960s.
Yeah, it's like a hippie. She's like, in Woodstock.
Like, hey man, dig this heavy rain. Where'd this come from? It was like sunny a second ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you like this card?
3 colors, 1 blue. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card.
It's. I think the cards speak for itself. It's just a nice draw.
It's Sif, but at instant speed. Is that correct?
Sif is pretty solid card.
Yeah.
In most formats I played, mostly limited, like cubing.
Yeah. So I think the one thing though is like in the last couple of standard sets, you've had cards like Chemister's Insight, Hieroglyphic Illumination, which are just strictly better versions
than this.
I think just because they give you more flexibility.
This gives
they
you
are
more
just
selection.
draw 2. This gives you more selection.
Yeah.
The other ones were just draw 2, but you had stuff like Jumpstart on it, cycling, you know. So I think that this kind of falls in that same category. But you know, every time I get one of those cards, I play it. You know, like drawing cards, especially in League. Drawing cards is never where you're digging for your bombs is never a bad thing. You know.
Are you happy to take turn 4 off to do this?
To save turn 4?
Yeah, you just take turn 4 off and just
the most instant you already have in your deck, the better it's gonna be, obviously, because if you don't use your instant, you can throw this at the end of the turn. I like the fact that it's police insurance against flooding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instant, I really like this card for and obviously more for a controlling deck. I think it's a very good value.
Can I just ask Lee a very personal question?
Yeah.
Is this on your list?
Nope.
Mine neither. And I think that this is maybe not so much rain as someone pissing off the roof. I think that she's like, whoa, it's rain. No.
Oh.
I think I'm not happy taking my turn to do this. For me, like I want to have spells that either cost 3 like divination, and I can take an earlier, less crucial turn off, or they have the Chemister's Insight kind of replayability kind of stapled onto them. This seems like a big cost for me, but then again, maybe if you're sitting on a lot of counter spells, you don't feel the
need. It depends on the deck. It's very situational.
I think this goes in a certain kind of deck, but not.
But I think you're always going to play it in an early league, just because draw card is always like anytime you have a card with a staple draw card on it and it's multiples, you'll probably play it in a league. So I think it's a good choice. You know? Your number 7.
Now here's your chance to rain on my parade. My number 7. It's got elephants. It involves elephants. It's Trumpeting Herd. Now, Trumpeting Herd is a sorcery, I believe. It has some elephants involved. So there's 2 green, 2 colorless, and you make a 3/3 green elephant token. Now, just on rate, this is a gray ogre, nothing too exciting. The one word which makes this card so much better and so much more exciting is the rebound word. Now, this mechanic means that you play it for free again during your next upkeep.
This was from Khans of Tarkir, right? This mechanic?
No, the mechanic was
the
not...
The mechanic was from Khans?
I think it was from...
Rebound was Rise of Eldrazi.
Eldrazi, there we go. Perfect. But essentially, you get 2 elephants for the price of 1.
Yeah.
I like those kinds of deals. When I'm out shopping and if I see the 2 for 1, I'm all in, and this is no different. Trumpeting Herd gets my vote.
I mean, it's great bodies. As a common, it's just tokens are generally kind of like a weaker version of creatures because you can just bounce them. And like you said, if you don't get that extra value, it's just a 3/3 gets walled off.
Hey, I tell you what, if I can use 1 card to get 2 bounce spells out of my opponent, I'm gonna make that.
But they don't need 2 to deal with it, right? All they need is a 4/4 body to brick you, and then 1 to push through damage, right? Which is a different gameplay situation. Right? It's not about removing both creatures. It's about swinging tempo in their favor, and all they need is 1 removal and a 4/4 to like turn that back against you, you know, versus, you know, a big creature, you know, the bounce doesn't really affect it.
So you're not on board the elephant train?
No.
Is it in your top 10?
Not even close.
Wow, okay, it's very high on my top 10.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I like this card a lot.
Alright, my number 7 is Wart-Eye Witch.
Oh my god, Lee!
So Wart-Eye Witch.
This is the spoiler equivalent of you farting on air. I'm gonna take you to town on this.
Wart-Eye Witch.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
3/2 for 3. So on mana rate, you know, we've all done that.
Yeah.
Relevant ability. Whenever it dies or another creature dies, scry 1. So
another creature you control.
Yeah, creature or it.
Sure.
It's Viscera Seer without the sacrifice outlet. So obviously it's not as good.
Not as good.
But it's still huge card selection. Like, I think that just playing this, and especially with the Goblins deck, which relies a lot on kind of sack and damage and all that type of stuff, I think this is going to be a staple in that kind of deck, and I think it's pretty powerful. Scry is such a good mechanic in League.
Here's the key question that I always take into account when I'm selecting for these top 10 lists. Is this a card that's going to drag me into that color?
No.
No.
But
and therefore, I think it's not a top 10 card.
I think it's a top 10 card because nothing, we've already said this, in the commons, nothing in the commons is going to drag you into that color.
Defile is going to drag me in.
But would the elephant drag you into that color?
I like the idea of getting 6 power for 4 mana. I'm sorry.
So you would give up all your bombs to play 3 of those.
Not all my bombs, but you know, I'm saying, like, it's a reason. Yeah. It's a reason among other reasons.
I think that one of the most interesting things about League is kind of fetching those extra synergies that people aren't going to see coming. And I think what the more interesting thing is, does it pass the vanilla test, you know? And a 3/2 body for 3 is the classic.
It's the cutoff line.
I mean, there's so much that we're playing in War of the Spark, like the Wolf, Vraska's Assassin, that are just 3/2 bodies with upside, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it's Vraska's Finisher, the Assassin. So, me, it fits in that category, and I love those kinds of cards, and I think I'll probably always play this if I'm in black. Okay,
I tell you what. On the you must be this tall to ride the roller coaster line, barely touches.
Look, I'm barely touches. The reason that this is in my top 8 or top 10 is because if I'm in black, I will always run at least one of these just for the value that I'm getting off the scribe.
If you're in black.
If I'm in black.
That's the key clause.
Yeah.
If I'm already in black, yeah, I'll play it too.
No, but I mean, I would run this to the end of the league. I would choose this over other cards. You know what I mean? That's why it's in my top 10.
Okay.
All right.
We agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
That's fair.
Number 6.
Oh, number 6.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I have a Pondering Mage.
Oh, I like this guy.
So it's a mage that does a ponder.
That
For 5 mana, you have a 3/4 body, and you cast Ponder when you enter the battlefield.
That's a jacked wizard.
Yeah.
That's a jacked wizard.
Yeah, Ponder is such a great card. You have a body attached to it.
But I mean, isn't what part of what makes Ponder good is that it's 1 mana. You play it early game. You set up your draws, like with a Fairy Seer. By turn 5, is that when you want to be doing all your pondering? Discuss.
I mean,
I think Ponder is always good. I think
never bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never bad, and I just like to. I'm kind of a value player, also. I like to. I'm not that.
It's a freebie.
Yeah.
It's a freebie. I mean, it's not in my top 10 just because of the cost. I think it's pretty high up there. But it's one of those ones, it's like, what's the Kavu who draws you a card when he comes into play that's a 3/3 for Kavu Tree Climber?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those cards that I'll play, especially early, to just get that extra value. But
you play it early
league. Early
league.
I mean,
early game, like
early league. But I'll tell you what, it's a sweet ramp payoff. You know, if you play that elf cycle, get it off on turn 3, turn 4, and then you're just like, it's way ahead of the curve. You know.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Not excited.
Not excited.
Act more excited. He's our guest.
Okay, like just because he's our guest, I can't really rub on all the lotion about this guy.
You and your weird metaphors.
You don't like the Pondering Mage, right?
I mean, I like it. I mean, but it's not going to drag me into blue.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at this, like, in terms of, like, what are the best commons? The best commons are going to be like, okay, I'm going to that color because I have these cards. For me, Pondering Mage is a bit like Lee's, like,
Wart-Eye Witch.
It's less embarrassing than the Witch.
Oh, thanks.
But
alright, why don't you read us your number 6 so we can drag you through the mud a bit.
Alright, fine. My number 6 is Mob. You can drag me through the mud like the mob that you are.
I'm not going to comment. Never mind.
So, Mob is a 5 mana instant And it has 3 words, 3 of the best words in Magic, which are destroy, target, and creature, in that order. Yeah. And it also has an extra word, which makes it even better, and that is convoke. So we've gotten used to paying 5 mana recently for our removal spells. This is significantly cheaper in that at any point in the game after turn 1, it's going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and it's going to get people in situations where they think they couldn't have got. So for 1 mana, ideally, you're knocking out their best creature. And I think that is worthy of a slot in the top 10, a reason to be in black, and I'm proud of my number 6. Plus the flavor is so on point. You tap the creatures to kill their creatures, like they're ganging up on them. Yeah, so good. The flavor win, power win. I'm happy with number 6. Any comments, gentlemen?
No comment.
All right, there we go.
Right.
Shut him down with
my number 6 is Unearth. Okay. So Unearth is a legacy staple, at common as well. Basically, 1 black mana, return target creature, convert mana cost 3 from your or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Yeah.
End sentence. No sacrifice, no thing, just return it for 1 mana. Other card tagged onto it, cycling for 2. So this is a card that's going to hit a lot of different things. You know, there's some spicy 3 mana bombs. And
Are there what in set, Lee? What do you think is a spicy 3 mana bomb?
The ninja. There's a 3-color ninja, isn't there? I feel
there's a ninja for 3 that's unblockable, but he's like a phantom warrior.
You can get back your witch also.
You can get back. I mean, there's so many 3-cost slivers.
Okay, you broke me, Simon. Yeah. You broke me with that one.
There's so many 3-cost slivers in set that are relevant, right?
Back your witch.
Get back your witch. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. What you said was that this is a classic in Legacy, and that's for a reason.
Yeah.
That's because they have like 13 creatures for 1 mana, right? So they're going for they're going for.
She say Weatherlight Captain. Return it to the battlefield. There's your bomb. 3 mana gets +1/+1 for every other +1 permanent, legendary permanent that you control, and you know you can search. So
yeah, you know, again, you're in white because of Sisei.
Yeah.
Why am I
Ranger Captor Eos, mythic 3 drops?
Sure.
You know,
sure.
Lancer Sliver. So all the slivers that cost 3 can
all I'm
be
saying
returned.
it's a bit win more. Okay, so you've already got a bomb at the 3 mana cost or lower, and Unearth just makes you able to play it.
But that's the key of recursion, right? It's getting that second bomb a second time. Like that's why the card is powerful.
Yeah.
Because it's you play a bomb, they deal with the bomb.
Yeah.
You replay it like the Cabal Therapist, Cordial Vampire, like in black. Crypt Rats, you wrath the board, you get them back for 1 mana.
Crypt Rats will give you
many.
Because a lot of people are going to have Crypt Rats, right?
A lot of people can have Crypt Rats.
I've done that in Pauper. Unearthing.
Not to mention,
Crypt Rat.
Feels good?
It's nice.
There you go.
I'm looking here, Dregscape Sliver, where you get Unearth on your slivers. You can go get this back with Unearth, and then give your slivers Unearth. It's just infinite value. I just think it's and the fact, one of the things about Unearth is, yes, the first part is very situational.
Yeah.
But it has cycling. Yeah. So at worst, it's pay 2 mana, draw a card, right? Yeah. And cycling makes everything better. Everything.
Significance.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, look, I'm not all over it like your witch, but I do. I think that, for example, this is more defensible than the witch. I just think that it's going to be a lot less powerful in League than it is in Legacy. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Number 5.
My number 5.
Yeah, we're halfway through.
We're getting really ramped up here.
I know. Yeah, I'm getting all juiced.
Igneous Elemental or Ignited Elemental.
Yeah, the red.
Igneous.
Igneous.
Is it igneous?
It is igneous elemental.
Yes, igneous. It's kind of rock. Igneous rock.
So that card for me feel a bit like Flametongue Kavu, and that's pretty much.
Let me adjust my value.
4 colorless, 2 red. It costs 2 less if there is a land card in your graveyard, so we were talking about that kind of interaction before.
Right.
When it enters the battlefield, deal 2 damage to target creature. So it's a 4/3 for 4, essentially, in a best situation.
Yeah.
Deals 2 damage to a creature, right?
This isn't like a whole tongue of flame though, it's just a little lick. It's a flame
just
lick.
A little lick.
Flame lick Kavu.
Yeah, he's not as aggressive when he's entered the battlefield, but I think the 2/1 is the potential of a 2/1 is really good. Finish a big creature that have been injured during combat.
Yeah, but this is the one thing that I have on this is you need to have the cost reduction, right? Like if you don't find a way to put the land in your base, if you don't find a way to put your land in your graveyard, or you delved away all your lands with Magmatic Sinkhole, you know, it becomes significantly worse.
Oh, that's right. Lee's got you on consistency. He's using your own picks against you.
Yeah.
He's like, but you've already gotten rid of all your lands for the Sinkhole. Right? So,
yeah, exactly.
So now your Ignis Elemental is stranded in your hand.
Yeah, even for 6, I think it's decent.
Yeah.
For sure, I hope I'm gonna cast it for 4 most of the time if I play it. But for me, just 2 for 1 and a common, that's pretty exciting, and that's the reason it's number 5.
We're at number 5.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
You're number 5.
I'm not going to spend too much time on my number 5 because you already spend all of your energy defending it. My number 5 is Answered Prayers.
Yeah.
Just like you, I think that you'd spend one of those mana anyway on an enchantment that says whenever a creature comes into play under your control, gain 1 life. And the other 2 to have the Wind Riddle Sphinx ability. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to just sit there. It's going to gain you life.
I mean, if this was in a standard
avoid
set,
sorcery removal.
if this card was in a standard set and it was a rare, it wouldn't be the top tier rare, but it would still be like a pick 1 playable. I think. Like I think
the white enchantment.
Yeah, the white enchantment. Like I think talking of Pauper, this might like in mono white heroic, this might warp Pauper a bit. You know, having a 3/3 flyer that gains you a life, it mitigates burn. It's a creature that can like defend against Delver. I think it'll
You have to transform it though, right?
Yeah, you have to transform it, but it still gains you a life every time you play a creature. You know, and mono white heroic is all about like 1-drops and like those creatures that are pretty cheap, and like Monarch or mono white Monarch as well could be, because that plays a lot of creatures. Anyways, not talking about Pauper, talking about League.
We're talking about your number 5.
My number 5 is Winding Way. This one is kind of a weird one.
Take us home.
But I think
Take the long way home.
The big value of this becomes because of the enabler of the mechanics, like as we were talking about your Igneous Elemental.
This was almost on my list.
It's a I cut my thing.
This
One
was-
colorless, 1 green. I don't need the thing. 1 colorless, 1 green.
Yep.
You choose creature or land. Then you reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all cards of the chosen type revealed away into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. Right. This is interesting because it's basically, in a best case or an average scenario, I'm thinking it's probably going to be like a draw 2, right?
Yeah.
In the late game, you're going to be like creature, maybe pull 2 creatures, or a bomb or something like that. The rest will go to the graveyard. In a really win more situation, you get all 4. You know, in the early game, you can be like lands, and if you get like 2 or 3 lands, you basically just fixed yourself, drew 3 cards. The only downside is like it's going to be those whiffs, right? But
Very rarely.
You're gonna whiff. You're gonna whiff. Everybody, those kind of cards. It's like I was playing Augur of Bullets today.
Yeah.
I have a spell heavy deck, and then you just like you do it, and you put. I put my Yugen, my Jace, and my Ashiok to the bottom of my deck.
And how did you feel after that?
I felt bad, but I still won. So like, you know, it feels bad, but these kind of cards, you know, you got to look at it over many games.
Yeah.
And over many games, this is basically pay 2, draw 2 of what you need, right?
So what you think? You think you found the broken jackpot machine in the casino?
I don't think it's
You're
a
like,
broken
you know,
jackpot machine.
I'm gonna lose sometimes, but on the whole, I'm gonna win.
I'm not taking it's a broken jackpot machine. I'm just saying like pay 2, draw 2, or pay 2, draw 3. You know, it's worth playing that risk.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like every time you choose creature, the lands that you put in your graveyard enable pretty much all the other cards that rely on that mechanic in green and red in the set. So this is like one of those cards that's going to activate and enable it. I think it's pretty high tier in green.
It almost made my list, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid card. So.
Agreed.
Number 4.
Climbing the ladder.
Alright, number 4 is Mob. So you mentioned that card previously.
Yep.
For me it's number 4 because it's a premium removal.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the reason it's there, up there at 4.
Yep.
All right.
No
argument.
Good. My number 4, slightly more contentious perhaps. It is Settle Beyond Reality. It's a white card, and it is for 5 mana, and it is a sorcery. You might say, why do you have a 5 mana sorcery all the way up the ladder in 4th place? I'll give you 2 reasons. It's because it says choose one or both. The first is exile target creature you don't control. So it's premium removal. It's not coming back from the graveyard, not being recurred by Unearth, for example. Lee's Bomb. And the other one, exile target creature you control.
It's all good, I'll cycle my Unearth in response.
And then return it. Why, it's on the stack? Okay. Anyway, sorry. Exile target creature control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Yes.
So you flicker your creature, you exile theirs. So you're getting 2 benefits. Normally for this price, we get one exiled creature on the opponent's side of the table. On this spell, yes we do.
Nope.
Yes we do.
Nope.
Yes we do.
I can Wanderer's Strike.
And you get Proliferate.
You get Proliferate.
Sure.
Usually a small bonus with these.
You always get a small extra bonus.
Okay, but anyway, this is a big extra bonus.
No, slam!
in the case that you get, let me finish my sentence here. You get a chance to flicker your creature. As Lee mentioned, there is a flicker sub-team, there's lots of ETBs.
Yeah.
And so I would say you probably pay 2 for your average flicker ability, you probably pay 4 for your average exile ability. Stitch them together for 5, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you this. It's premium removal, but I find that especially in white, like these kinds of cards, like in War of the Spark, you know, a lot of people aren't valuing the Wanderer Strike that high, just because there's lower curve removal that's slightly better. But I'll probably always run it. I don't know if it's a power, like a reason to pull me into those colors.
Right.
You know? To
We'll call it the York test.
The York test.
Right. Let's come and pull me into that color.
Yeah, we won't mention who had better picks last time.
Slightly better.
Slightly better.
It's a matter of degrees, you know.
My number 4 is Excavating Anurid. So this is
my goodness.
It's Gitrog Monster.
Oh my
Mini Gitrog Monster.
What?
It's Mini Gitrog Monster.
Of a podcast of absurd claims.
If you excavate
this might be one of the more.
If you want to throw me under the bus for the Angrass Rampage, this is going to get way worse.
Alright folks, mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars. So, it's a frog beast, like Gitrog Monster. 4 colorless, 1 green.
Yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, draw a card. As long as you have 7 more cards, and it has threshold, so as long as you have 7 more cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+1 and it has vigilance. So, at worst, it's a 4/4 for 5 that draws you a card, right? Because usually if you're at 5 mana, you know, depending on where you are in the game, it fixes you for like flooding and all that type of stuff. And you know, if I'm at 4, even if this is on curve at 5, I'll probably sack the land anyway, because if I draw another land, it replaces itself. 5 mana is pretty much the top of my curve, and it's, if I have 7 cards in my graveyard, it's just a 5/5 beater. And I really think that like those 4/4 bodies, especially in League, are pretty consistent performers. They dodge a lot of removal. So this is my Gitrog Monster. I was pretty excited when I saw this card.
You remember a set called Dominaria?
Yes.
Did we not have a 5/5 vigilance for 5 in green?
But it didn't draw you a card.
Well, you didn't have to destroy your own land either.
Yeah, but you don't care about destroying 1 land at 5 mana if you draw a card. Like, we're talking about drawing cards.
I guess.
The card draw is super interesting.
Does green stop ramping at 5 though? I think
I'm just saying, like,
green wants its land.
Bantu is a mythic in this current set at 5, right? Yeah. And a lot of people will pay it as a 5/6 menace and sack a land and draw a card, right?
Yeah, they'll sack a lot of lands.
Yeah, but not at 5. On curve, I'm saying.
It's a mythic because you can sacrifice everything and draw everything.
But I'm just saying that this is a similar effect on curve than a Bantu. Okay. It's just not the same body.
Richard Koffler, get your quotation ready.
Yeah, he's gonna smack me down for that. I love this card, man.
Similar on curve to a Bantu, Excavating Anurid.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right. Number 3.
You're gonna smash me with this card.
Hey, it's fine.
I'm gonna hate it.
It's fine. You can
but at that point, I'll be
I'm
like,
just
you know
thinking, look, it fixes flooding late.
Yeah.
It draws you a card.
It's not
the worst case scenario on curve, all it does is eat a land, take you back to 4 mana. Like, being at 4 mana is not bad. Nobody's ever been at 4 mana and be like, I'm mana screwed. Like, 4 mana is fine. And like I said, threshold, it just upside later in the game. It's a 5/5 vigilance beater for 5.
Yeah, I respect the frog beast. You know, I just grief you. I grief you on air
I can see it in his face. He's like turning up on this. He's like, oh, I like this card.
I'm just trying to juice up the podcast, man. That's all. You know, just getting the drama going.
It's fair.
It's good in the mid-range.
At least my picks are spicy, you know.
It's a mid-range card.
Yeah, I'm a mid-range.
So much sour grapes going on here.
Number 3.
Oh, my number 3 is
Crescent
Tusker.
Oh, this is a reprint and a classic.
Okay, Crescent Tusker, for me, it's an instant speed divination that you actually know one of the cards you're gonna get. And it's not counterable. So, just a divination and instant speed, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, 5.
It's also a split card that can become a big creature at the end of the game.
So 5 green, cycling 2/1 green. When you cycle it, search your land for a basic land card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, and the cycling still draws you a card. So just to elaborate that, here's my question: would you ever play it as the beast? the full 6/5.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I would say maybe 10% of the time. Something
It's a 90-10. 90% of the time you're just doing it turn 3 to fix yourself. And
so if it was a split card, like 90% of the frame would be
exactly.
the cycling ability.
Going straight into the
a
graveyard.
little picture of a creature on the end.
Yeah. So
No, but it's a solid card. It's you can see in my choices that I really value like card advantage when I'm playing League. For me, it's a key thing.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do also.
Yep.
So that card is a very good card for card advantage. Solid.
Agreed. And now I'm going to shock the world with my number 3, Croson Tusker.
Oh, okay.
same pick.
Same pick.
Same
Same
pick.
spot.
This didn't even make my top 10.
Wow.
So it's a pretty solid card. I've seen it played before.
You respect
it's
the
a really high.
artist.
I respect it. It's a really high reprint that I'm sure a lot of people are really excited about.
Land fixing, card draw,
Yeah.
big creature at the end of the game, nothing not to love.
My thing is, it's just divination effects in general. I think as League goes on, they kind of taper down. In
Instant
value.
speed divination in green?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. I might have missed this one.
Alright, what's your number 3, Lee? Let's hear
I
it.
might have missed this one, but I'll see. I'm not high on it, but I'll probably always play it.
Take us to the third.
My top 3 are not going to be anything surprising.
Okay.
So Magmatic Sinkhole.
Yeah.
I'll say I think you guys both undervalued it just because Delve is a stupid mechanic. Anybody who's lost a million games to fucking Treasure Cruise, sorry, pardon my language.
Getting blue.
Yeah, blue. And it's just like, beat that out, Dave. The Treasure Cruise, it's banned in so many formats, and this is cheaper, and it hits Planeswalkers too. I suspect that a lot of people, just because they have the packs and the power levels there, will be going back to War of the Spark.
Oh yeah.
So I think that this is just going to be solid removal. It's premium quality to me.
Alright.
So.
Agreed. Your number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is
Almost there.
Trumping Herd.
Trumping Herd.
Oh, you put even higher than I did.
For me, that these elephants are just very, very solid at the common level. 2 Revelant creature for a card that costs only 4. For me, it's an awesome deal.
Relevant creatures?
Relevant.
Relevant.
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
So it's just a 2/1 again, without any condition. You just untap on your turn 4, play a land, poop a creature, and there's another creature.
Poop a creature.
There's another creature that's gonna pop at your next upkeep. Just very solid. It's not spectacular. It's not fancy stuff.
Doesn't need to be,
but it's
that's it.
It's
Sometimes
got so much
you just
power.
have to attack with 3/3s and you get the game. And
I'll be happy getting a game with this.
Yeah.
However, I mean, if I'm going to take Lee's side, they can be bounced, and my number 2 is Man of War.
Man of War.
Yeah.
And that's a jellyfish for 1 blue, 2 colorless. When you play it, it's got some very simple text written on it. It says when this comes into play, take a target creature and put it back to its owner's hand. So you can use this on your own creatures to get more ETB effects. You can use it on your opponent's elephants to bounce them out of existence, although the second elephant coming in might cause some trouble.
Yeah, my second elephant's gonna crush your jellyfish.
Right. Well, by that time I'll play my second Man of War. Anyway.
Or you blink your Man of War, exile another creature.
Bounce my own Man of War.
Hey, look,
Forever.
we're playing Magic, guys.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So there's lots of things that can happen, but I think that there's so much upside with that very simple creature that Man of War, I'm happy putting my number 2. It's kind of removal, it's kind of tempo, it does a lot of things for one creature.
Yeah.
And if you can do that blink thing, right? If you can settle beyond reality with your Man of War,
yeah,
come on, that's so much gravy in your potatoes, gentlemen. So much gravy.
Classic card, good card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2, Lee?
My number 2 is, not a surprise, Mob.
Oh, yeah.
I valued it much higher than you guys, and I'll tell you why.
Tell us why.
A lot of people forget that you can pay the full converted mana cost with Convoke. So Convoke creatures, if you're tapping, they tap for the color that they're represented.
That is correct.
So a lot of people are going to walk right into this one where you have 5 creatures on your board. As long as you have a black creature, you can tap all your creatures and convoke the full cost of Mob.
So they think the shields are down?
Yeah, they think the shields are down, and it's just already 5 mana at an instant speed. This is an effect that in the last couple of sets, I know this is a higher level set, this is usually a sorcery speed cost, you know? So I think it's going to catch a lot of people. I think it's probably second best removal in the set.
It's an instant, so there's a good chance I'll misplay.
You're just gonna walk right into it. So just pro tip: remember that the full cost can be played by tapping creatures with Convoke. Yeah. So, and I think that really ups the power level like tenfold. So
yeah, I think if you want to, since we're in the blue material, I think like on a scale of 1 to pants shittingest, this is probably like a 9.5 towards the pants shittingest kind of end of removal. Yeah. Because you don't see it coming sometimes. Yeah. Right?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
All right. Let's go all the way up to the top. Number 1.
All right, my number 1 might surprise you. I see that it's not on both of your lists.
Oh, you were supposed to be looking at those. That's private information.
Oh, well.
This is like a final exam of Magic, and you've cheated now.
I cheated.
Oh, okay.
So my card is Headless Spectre.
Oh, the black.
Alright.
So, Headless Spectre is...
Did you read the whole card? Because Lee's gonna read it now.
1 colorless, 2 black, flying, Hellbent, which is the only Hellbent card in the set, I believe.
Yeah.
Whenever Headless Spectre deals combat damage to a player, if you have no cards in hand, that player discards a card at random. So it's a regular Spectre effect, if you're Hellbent.
If you're Hellbent, that's a big if.
Oh yeah.
Because that means that you have to have no cards in your hand.
Yep.
No cards. 0 cards.
Yeah.
And you still like it.
Yeah, I still like it because it's a 2/2 flying for 2, which is solid.
Right. It's a big Drake.
3.
Yeah, it's a Drake. It's a Drake.
It's a Drake for 3.
It's a Toronto rapper, Drake.
Right.
It's just good because a Drake is already good by itself, and I think that it's not for all decks. Like kind of specific deck will like this, but I mean,
aggro deck, right?
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
aggro deck. And if you're playing aggro and you start hitting on turn 4 or maybe 5 more realistically and forcing your opponent to discard a card at random, that's pretty solid. This type of effect are usually in rare, and that's the reason it's for me in the number 1. I'm very excited about this card. I wish I'm gonna have a deck that can play that.
Yeah, I think the one downside that I have of this card is the fact that it's Hellbent. Hellbent wasn't an incredible mechanic in my memory. Like having no cards in hand means you have nothing up your sleeve. Like often people will keep up even just a land to kind of bluff something. You're basically throwing that all out. I will give you the effect is very, very powerful. I think that this deck, like this card you want multiples of in a deck where you're going to be like, you know, play a curve out, all your lands, then right before you attack, you mind rake the guy, which is right next to it, to make him discard 2, and then make him discard his last card, and then every turn he's top decking. You know, he has to like go straight from land into play. I think it can give you a good tempo swing, but the Hellbent kind of has me hesitant on it. So
yeah, for my number 1, I chose Defile.
Yeah,
which is the 1 black instant that can kill almost anything. I guess maybe a 2/2 flyer for 3, it could probably kill that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not going to defend it anymore. It was already chosen earlier on your list. And
my number 1, also Defile.
Oh wow!
I think we were.
Did we agree on something?
Yeah, we agreed. Number 1.
We agreed on something.
Number 1.
Finally, building bridges.
I think that this is probably one of the best removals like printed in a long, long time. Especially because that like swamps you control effect is like basically irrelevant. Like it's basically just gets better as the game goes on.
Yeah.
And like at most, you know, the thing is depending on where you are in the game, if you have it on turn 2 with 2 swamps, it's -2/-2. Nothing the guy's gonna play across the board from you won't be able to kill. And it interacts with like ninjutsu creatures, all sorts of stuff. Like the instant speed removal. I think this is it's basically 1 mana kill a creature, which is probably one of the best. I think this is probably one of the best removals ever printed. That's what I'm gonna put it. I would put it up there with
takes, folks. Hot takes.
I would put it up there with like a Fatal Push. You know.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's impressive.
It's very impressive.
You need swamps, though. The key part is it's the swamp thing.
Yeah, but I mean like so.
Black is good.
Is Urborg in Modern? I think it's even printed in a couple of Modern Master sets.
Urborg.
All your lands are swamps.
All lands are swamps.
Yeah,
so if you have that, you're just like guaranteed. But I think, you know, depending on your fixing and your colors, like this is probably going to be a one mana -3/-3 or a 1 mana -4/-4. And there's not a lot of those printed, I don't think. There's Tragic Slip, which is -5/-5 for 1 mana, which is considered
-11, -11.
-11. So that's probably
13.
13.
We're both wrong.
We're both wrong. But I think that was probably, that's like one of the best, like that's played in every format, modern everything, or Dismember, which is 1 mana -5/-5, but you have to pay 2 life. This is a similar effect. You know, I think it goes into those categories.
Yeah, there's an argument there.
Yeah, there's an argument there. So that was why it was my number 1.
Well, you know what I like? I like top 10s with a happy ending. I think we've had a happy ending here. Yeah. So let's go to our pack battle.
Pack battle.
Pack battle.
And welcome back to Pack Battle.
Back paddle.
Pack Battle. So this week, in terms of spice, I felt like going back to Guilds of Ravnica because after this we'll be in Modern Horizons, and when do we have an on-theme kind of thing like that to do? So we're gonna do Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance, and obviously as our guest, Simon, you will have the privilege of ripping the packs. You
gotta crack them on screen. That people enjoy that. Enjoy that like crisp feeling.
All right, so I'm gonna start with this one.
Sure. Or your turn. You want to go chronologically?
Chronologically. All right, here we go.
That's some skill.
How do they smell?
So let's start with the common, right?
Yeah, just lay it all out there.
Okay.
Snippety snaps.
Whoa.
Oh, we have a foil.
Oh, we do?
Oh, gentlemen, we have a foil.
Oh, baby!
Oh, it's a...
That's a pack that I wish I'd opened in League.
Alright, that's a nice foil.
That's a crazy card.
Foil Ral?
That's a foil Ral. Okay. That's our first mythic foil on the podcast. Now that's crazy.
Wow.
Okay, well.
Now is this a good pack?
Yes.
Alright, yeah. So, Simon, if you'd open this for War of the Spark League, what would you be happy to see, and what do you think would be shit?
I'm looking at these cards, like the last row here is not really good from what I can see. This card could be good in certain deck. This card is okay, but not like exciting. These two also, so... Yeah, I think this is meh. It's good, but the card I'm looking for here is pretty much these 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe this and this. So if you're playing Izet, you're very happy.
Oh, yeah. This is it payoff.
This is a huge payoff. So I'm in these colors, and now my heart is breaking.
Oh,
yeah. But, I just have to not open another pack all League, and I won't feel so bad. I mean, opening a foil Ral, you can't really feel. That thing is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
But these are all enablers, right? And payoffs for spells deck.
I think any other color combination, you're going to be pretty much out of luck.
Yeah.
Maybe, there's a couple of things here for a Boros deck, but I agree with you. Is it all the way?
Yeah. I will say this, though. Burglar Rat is a little sneaker. I've gotten Burglar Rat on turn 2 a couple of times, and it's real annoying. Because even though you get to choose, losing a card for a 1/1 is just like... It's really, really...
Spoiler alert, I'm running a Burglar Rat, and I bring it out with my Vivian's Arcbow at the worst times, like during my opponent's draw step.
Okay.
It's great.
It really puts their head over the toilet.
That's a sneaky rat.
Yeah, let's keep these guys aside.
Yep. I'll scoop these into the garbage pile.
Into the garbage pile.
Into the garbage.
All right,
Simon.
Ravnica Allegiance.
Show us how it's done.
Yeah, I love
Use your magic fingers.
Oh, man.
Oh,
right.
2. That pack didn't stand a chance. Move these over here. There we go. Look at him.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a good.
Okay, all right.
Oh, another foil.
Another foil. This is crazy.
Oh,
this is crazy.
Can you open all of my packs from now on?
Pack. Oh, land. Oh,
hey.
It's a rare, but
it's still a decent card. I know.
Damn.
Freaking.
I don't know how you do it, Simon. I see why now. Why you're doing well in League.
This is why he does good in League for sure.
Yep. Every pack he opens, foil rare or foil mythic, guaranteed.
I'm not actually good at Magic. I just opened this stuff.
So humble too.
Yeah.
So, what are you looking at in terms of playables?
In terms of playables, that brings me back to the Ravnica Allegiance League. I remember liking this card. It's alright. This card is pretty good also. This card, that's pretty much it for the common. This can be okay, but not exciting.
Yep.
This also, like the best common is clearly this one here. The Chillbringer is just great.
True. This guy's okay too. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's not wonderful.
Okay. It's not actually a very good pack. I find there's nothing that gets me excited.
Yeah.
I
mean the rare.
I'm going to disagree with you on so many levels, but okay.
I think for me, what I'm looking at here, I don't think this rare is super exciting. It's nice that you got a foil of that. Yeah. But when I go back to these sets in War of the Spark League, I want to see fixing. And look at here.
Oh yeah.
That's some beautiful fixing for my Mardu deck. And
that Soren deck, you know.
Well, I mean, you might laugh, but like I'd just be happy for the lands, frankly, and the rest they're disposable.
Yeah.
For me, like at the uncommon level, you have Rhythm of the Wild, which is a
Rhythm of the Wild
certified
is
bomb.
beating. You know, it's can't be countered. Plus the Riot trigger, which is so strong.
Yeah.
Skatewing, I actually think is pretty strong. So in War of the Spark, you have the proliferate mechanics.
Yeah.
Basically, just gives everything flying. So it can be a finisher.
Sure.
I mean, think of it this way. What's the one that makes the Eternals, that makes your zombies flying? This does the same thing, costs less, and also becomes a 4/5 flyer itself, right?
Yeah, but you got to get the counters on it somehow, right? So you got a little sub-quest there.
Well, the Adapt does that.
Well,
yeah,
for 6
War of the Spark have a lot of +1/+1 counters,
Yeah,
so I
true.
can see a synergy right
So me personally, I would play these three.
Yeah, these are
plus the
best
fixing, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
This card is not bad. An Anthem effect for 2. It depends on your deck. You need to be playing a lot of hybrid creatures.
A lot, yeah.
War was pretty strong on hybrid creatures, though.
But if you went back to say, like, for example, Ravnica Allegiance,
Yeah.
what this did in reality was it pumped spirit tokens.
Yeah.
Do we have a multicolored creature token other than Citizens, which only appears at rare,
Yeah.
in War of the Spark?
No, we don't.
I don't think there's a lot of multicolor in this league.
It's tokens, yeah.
There's a lot of like multicolored uncommon creatures though. There's the flyers that draw you cards. There's things. So it would depend on your deck. But yeah, it's not in terms of like playables. We're looking at like maybe these guys, right?
Yeah. And then some fixing. So I put these in the garbage.
You can put all these in the garbage.
Right.
We can definitely see which pack would have been the more powerful one.
Yeah.
I will say this. This one would probably take you into a specific archetype.
Yes.
If you weren't already in that archetype and you didn't have the payoffs, this one probably has more stuff on a wider range.
Exactly. The gravy is more evenly dispersed among the color pairings.
Yeah.
Here it's telling you something very specific about your life.
Yeah, of your life choices. So, if we're looking, we're pretty much I would say like a 5-to-5, pretty even ratio. But what would you rate this pack? 1 to 10.
That one?
Yeah.
So the Guilds of Ravnica pack, I guess I would probably put that on like an 8 point something.
Yeah.
Because there's so much power concentrated in one color combo.
Yeah.
Something around 8, but the variance is very high because if you're not into this color,
well, you are now.
You are now. What about this one?
I think this is more like a 5 or 6.
Yeah. 5 or 6?
Yeah, I would say 6, 7, something like this. But this one is clearly better, but more concentrated.
So, Guilds winning the pack battle?
Wins the pack battle.
I will say this, from my experience of opening Guilds, and this is just a tip for anybody, the strategies in Ravnica Allegiance were not as focused as they were in Guilds of Ravnica. The surveil tactics, the spells decks, and everything. So if you're in an archetype that would benefit from those payoffs, the power level in guilds can be pretty high. But if you're in Golgari, don't go back for that card. Just go to Dominaria or whatever. But the Ravnica Allegiance does seem to have like a more widespread even power level, which is why drafting it was so much fun. But there's some different nice payoffs in there for sure. So
all right, that's been our pack battle,
and we're back.
Welcome back. That was quite a pack battle.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. We opened up some
double guilds packs. They're always spicy.
Spicy stuff.
Yeah.
So this is the moment where we sort of like we unbutton our shirt further. But actually, I'll keep that there. Lee can unbutton his shirt one more.
No.
And
don't try and get in my pants, please.
But it's not going that far. But we're going to talk casually with our guest Simon about his experience since he's the newest member of the rules committee who keeps League on rails. Can you tell us about what that experience has been like? Like, what interested you in getting involved with the Rules Committee, and what's your time with them been like so far?
Well, I proposed myself because I want to help the community of the league because I think it's so much fun and I want to give back. And so far, I've been there for maybe a week or 2, so I'm very new.
You're fresh.
Yeah, I'm mostly observing, doing some suggestion a bit, and for me, it's a very limited experience because it's been only a few weeks, but I like it so far, and that's it.
Okay.
Wow. Just remember to keep your pulse on the community. It's, League is a community format. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah.
You really like that. I think just we're on promo committee as
we
the
are.
origins of this.
Yeah.
You know, players want to be heard and they chat and talk about all sorts of nonsense, including spoilers. So
yeah, I think that part of it is like making sure there's like some sort of accessibility and accountability. So like asking players what they want. Like Wizards of the Coast does this all the time, right? With like Mark Rosewater, he's always like polling the player base.
I think Wizards of the Coast is not a good example. They never do a player.
Well, no, but I'm saying Mark Rosewater.
Yeah, he does.
He's the whenever somebody at corporate says, "Well, what should we put in this set? What do the players want?" They ask Mark Rosewater because he's got his Tumblr open. He's always responding to fan email, and he's got his, as you say, he's got his finger right in that pulse.
Yeah.
And so I think as long as we have people like you in rules listening to the community
and our bad mouth complaints,
watching our podcasts,
then, with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So
no amount of salt will help you now.
All right.
Yep.
So
any last words?
No, not specifically. Like
anybody who hasn't seen this, remember Modern Horizons.
Yes.
Plug it up. Promo starting June 14th, I believe, is the release dates of Modern Horizons. I can probably see that right on this page at the very top. And it is...
Yeah, it is 14.
No, it'll be 13th.
13, yeah. Well, that weekend.
Yeah.
So this is where the league is going to launch.
Okay.
So I invite everybody to join for Modern Horizon Seal.
The first modern league. This is the first modern league. We've never done a modern league.
Well, the first strictly modern, yes.
Strictly modern league,
yes.
So, yeah. And we'll take a minute to thank Pat one more time.
Yes.
La Veillée, great beers. So if you guys are in Mont-Tremblant area, Saint-Agathe, La Veillée, thank you, Pat. And of course, thank Dave Grunas, our fabulous, why did I say our fantastic producer.
Frabtabulous.
Frabtabulous.
He's just making up words now, he's so good.
So, yeah.
Good to the last drop.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave, for being a fantastic producer once again and making us look good, because we're not doing you any favors in that regard.
All right.
And we'll see you out there.
See you.
See you.
Yep, see you at the Open.
Bye.